Welcome to today's session. Another exciting which has been prepared by my colleague Leonci together with the team from Startup Energy and also the team from the Founders Club at Freiburg University. We have a very exciting topic today. We're going to be talking about fintech for solar energy, African solar energy. And we have an amazing lineup of speakers today, which I will introduce to you in just a few moments. Before we do this, and while we are waiting for some extra people to connect, I would like to do a little bit of housekeeping as usual. We do this every time for every event, and yet apparently the message not always gets super clear, so we're going to do it one more time. It's very, very easy. Let me just share my screen. There we go. Really two basic rules for housekeeping. The first aspect is, yes, of course, all the presentations will be shared with you after today's session alongside the recording. So in case you're missing something, in case you're connecting late, in case you have to leave early, do not worry. You will get all the information that you need, and you will get a chance to follow up with today's presenters and also to connect with other listeners. You will get the full information. And then the second point that I would like to share with you today is about the difference between the chat option and the Q&A option. You can find these at the bottom of your screen when you move with your mouse, in the Zoom options. So the chat option is really to say hi and chat with other listeners. It's an opportunity to network and to connect and to get to know some other people. However, if you really have like a dedicated question to one of our speakers today, and I hope you will have many, please do so through the Q&A section, because the way Zoom is built in, the Q&A questions are recorded. And so if we don't get a chance to address your question today during the session, we still get a chance to share those questions with our speakers today so that they can address them later on after today's session. The chat is not recorded. So if you submit a question through the chat and we don't get a chance to cover it, it will be lost. Okay, so chat for saying hi, Q&A for asking questions. And that is it for the housekeeping for today. And I would like to move on directly to our first speaker. Edmund, who is the managing director at Verdant Capital based in South Africa, will give us a little bit of an overview of the fintech space, why it's so important for our industry of solar energy in Africa, and what are some of the trends, what are some of the opportunities that he sees. Being like a very seasoned professional of fintech, as you can see, has more than 20 years experience in fintech. He's previously worked with Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, Renaissance Group, really strong investment banking backgrounds in different locations across Africa, but also internationally. And so, Edmund, I'm really happy that you accepted the invitation today. To share a little bit about your experience and your view on all these opportunities that are made possible through fintech. Edmund, the floor is yours.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much indeed. And if I may, by way of introduction, I'll just cover off a couple of slides on Verdant Capital and what we do and how we contribute towards the overall ecosystem. Can you see my screen, John?
Not yet. It's coming. You can just share again. So you have to share right. Just click on the green button again and it will show. There we go. It's coming now. Yeah, perfect.
Verdant Capital is a investment manager and Verdant Capital is investment bank. So we have two parts of our business. the investment management and the investment banking arm. We have all of our funds invest in financial services, leasing, C&I, similar type companies across the continent. They invest in a variety of layers of capital structure, from mezzanine debt to senior debt, term facilities, also working capital facilities, as well as transactions in Verdant Capital Special Sits, which fall a little bit outside the middle of the fairway. We also have an investment banking business, which is very active in terms of fintech. We completed 9 transactions last year in 2021 in the fintech sector. We're probably the most active firm in the sector overall. We're actively involved in M&A more broadly, principally working in fintech, private credit, but then also supporting private equity firms with their exits. We're possibly the largest advisor to the private equity sector in terms of exits in the continent. And private credit, more traditional private credit businesses where we organize debt funding and equity funding. So we've been very busy over the last few years, and these accolades and awards reflect that. Just a snapshot of recent projects from around the continent, from Nigeria to South Africa to East Africa, Southern Africa. I want to talk about a few selected themes we see in the fintech sector and how they also relate to clean energy and the renewable energy sector. So title of this slide, Selected Fintech Trends and Themes. So digital only banking, I think we've all seen this. We all see this in terms of our personal banking. I don't think many people on this call, on this panel, go actually to a physical bank branch, except for real mission critical change of account type activities. That digital only banking is also spreading down to the bottom of the pyramid and becoming increasingly important in terms of how credit and deposits are transacted with micro entrepreneurs, SMEs, and similar. Blockchain has become a very exciting initiative, a very exciting theme. So people thought 5 years ago blockchain was just about cryptocurrencies and speculation and Bitcoin and some of those investment themes, but now everybody understands blockchain as being a potential to have an integral part of all different types of financial transactions, whether that's KYC, whether that's mobile wallets, whether that's cross-border payments. This technology can be used. This technology can be used and applied in a whole range of different use cases, and can simplify the a range of processes which are otherwise complex and hard to decentralize. Maybe a cloud on the horizon. Fintech is becoming more regulated. This is an important consideration. Financial services is by its nature a highly regulated sector, and the regulators are sort of pushing their tentacles into the fintech sector. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing is up for debate. Clearly, financial services is regulated around the world for a reason, in order to protect depositors, protect customers, and that regulation of financial services isn't there for an accident. And some of this regulatory encroachment into the fintech sector may well be for very good reasons, and may well have positive outcomes for the customers and potentially also for the industry as a whole. Fintech startups are heating up. I think what we mean by this is competition. So many businesses which were the market leaders in their niche, in their geography, whether that were market leader in digital termination of remittance into Ghana, like something like a ZPay, or whether they were the leader in last mile payments in Nigeria, like Baxibox. A lot of these businesses are now finding that a lot of these businesses are now going pan-African, and they're approaching and encroaching on adjacencies. And rather than having one or two leaders in these specific themes in their own countries, we're now seeing maybe a dozen or so category leaders who are increasingly competing with each other. And potentially barriers to entry aren't as high as the investors thought they were 3-4 years ago. And this may well lead to interesting themes such as consolidation may lead to a greater degree of takeover activity between the US and Africa, between other parts of the world and Africa. Moving swiftly on, payments. There is a variety of different payments innovators who are making complex and expensive transactions cheaper, cross-border payments, remittances, different types of payments a lot to the last mile. They're making smaller transactions less expensive and therefore more cost competitive. Africa is paving the way. Well, for the financial services sector globally is ripe for disruption by new business practices, by technology. In many ways, Africa is even more ripe for disruption because of, smaller transaction sizes, large geographical areas. All these facts make the sector in Africa potentially more of a fertile ground than elsewhere in the world. So how do these fintech themes interact with solar? Many of these themes in fintech and solar relate to pay-as-you-go solar or the provision of retail financing effectively for solar equipment, as well as C&I solar, so that's corporate and industrial, commercial and industrial. And that's really where we see the greatest overlap between clean tech and fintech. So what are the key themes? So big data. So data acquisition regarding the use of power, payments for power, when it's used, how much power, and that's then aggregated up to the businesses, the business levels, who can then use that aggregate data to see, make decisions in terms of managing their businesses, in terms of what are the opportunities to supply the market. Some of that data can also be sold, but that big data is also incredibly useful in terms of what it's providing the consumer, what it's providing the individual or the business in terms of their use of power, how they can manage their cost, how they can audit their overall power use. Mobile payments. Mobile payments is a much cheaper and more effective way of making a payment than dropping off cash at someone's office. It's much less easy to defraud than checks or similar devices. And we see mobile payments as being a vital enabler for pay-as-you-go solar. If it wasn't for mobile payments, we don't think there would be a pay-as-you-go solar industry in Africa as we see today. Another big theme we don't see on this map is, another big theme we don't see in this page is credit and credit screening. If I'm providing a small business with a solar installation and they're paying a usage charge, or they're paying a monthly access charge, or a combination of the two, I am taking credit risk against that business. That credit risk may be mitigated by reclaiming the kit or the equipment, the solar panels, but actually that process of reclaiming is incredibly expensive. So reality is I'm taking credit exposure against my customer. So how do I manage that credit risk? How do I screen individual customers to make sure I make the best possible choices in terms of who I enter into a business with? So we see a lot of interesting credit screening technology in terms of the African market, in terms of digital operators. Just looking at questions. In simple terms or layman's language, what is fintech? For rural communities without access to digital infrastructure and technology, how will fintech become a reality for these communities? So I think my answer to that question is fintech is not a silver bullet. There are no silver bullets in terms of taking away issues that relate to underdevelopment, both in terms of physical capital, low incomes, economic opportunities. There is no silver bullet to solve all those issues. Yes, digital infrastructure can be a challenge in terms of transacting, banking on a digital basis. So if you don't have access to the internet, then it's challenging to access digital-only banking services. What I would say though to James is that in parts of the world and parts of Africa where there is limited digital infrastructure, there's often limited physical infrastructure. There may not be roads, so it's very hard for you to actually get to the bank to deposit money or similar. So yes, we understand the challenges. In sometimes there is a hybrid solution in terms, you need to have a hybrid solution to your business model to overcome these challenges. So yes, you offer digital banking, but you also offer agents. You have agents who can be in these rural areas and then try to transact on behalf of those customers. James, I guess that I don't know if that answers your question. To the extent it doesn't, then perhaps put a response in the box. John, if I got time briefly, I just want to set the scene for OWATS. This is one of the projects that we're working for at the moment. We are currently raising about $20 million of equity and debt for OWATS. OWATS is a C&I solar platform. It's a platform and enabling business which is providing power and other essential soft infrastructure to customers across Nigeria and also across the continent as a whole. It's using technology. It's using very interesting backbone that's providing ease of payments to customers, ease of payments to suppliers, and similar. And in terms of the credit side and credit screening, it has entered into a partnership with Sterling Bank to support the credit screening relating to the implicit credit. I'll leave the rest to Mbola when she speaks in a few minutes. John.
Thank you very much, Edmund. Yes, indeed, that was a good introduction for what will be presented at more length a little bit later in this presentation. Thank you very much for setting the stage and for sharing a little bit about your view of the big trends in fintech. I took some notes, of course, and I particularly like what you mentioned about competition moving to collaboration. And I think this is a little bit what we will be hearing through different presentations today. We will notice that there is a lot of interaction between all these different solutions and services provided by the companies who are joining us today. So thank you very much, Edmund. I know you have a tight schedule and I believe you need to catch a plane. So if you can still stay for a few minutes, that will be great. But if not, for the listeners here, again, I invite you to submit your questions through the Q&A section. And then, of course, we will share all these questions with our speakers today so they can address them later on if we don't get a chance to do it in today's presentation. Thank you once again, Edmund, and I will now move to our next speaker of the day, who is Adebola. Adebola, co-founder of Infibranches, based in Nigeria, coming also with a very strong background, more than 10 years experience in IT. She has worked with several big names in the industry. I'm sure some of you who are familiar with this field will recognize some of the names there. And really, we're very excited to have her here with us today, as she's been pioneering some key technology in the payments space for renewable energy sector. And very, very pleased to welcome Adebola now. Hello, Adebola. Thanks for joining us. So she can tell us everything about Infibranches and some of the cool things the company has been working on recently. Adebola, the floor is yours.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone. Okay, just go to my screen.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, this is good.
Okay, thank you, everyone. My name is Adebola, and like John said, I consult for a number of companies and work around the payments industry in multiple African countries, and I've worked with quite a number of entities from Google, MTN, and the likes. So I'll go straight into my presentation. I'm here to talk about Infibranches, which is a fintech platform that has been able to bridge the gap between energy and financial access to the last mile customers. And when we refer to last mile customers, we're tapping into customers that's majorly within the peri-urban and the rural communities, and have been, should I use the word, sidelined from getting access to some critical services, especially financial services and renewable energy services. To give a bit of background about Infibranches again, Infibranches is a financial technology company, and we leverage on the payment facilities that are available and agent networks to connect last mile customers to financial services and also to gain access to renewable energy service offerings across Nigeria. And one of the ways we'll be able to do that is a synergy with by working with lots of players within the renewable energy sectors, from the solar home providers to the mini grid providers, and majorly all the key stakeholders within the off-grid energy ecosystem. So I'll just take you through some of the solutions of Infibranches. One of the popular solutions for Infibranches is called Branches, which is a payment channel, and it simply enables financial services on behalf of other service providers. So for example, if you're a bank, we can offer your service to the customer. So you can go to who we call an agent, where you can go and open a bank account through an agent location. And you, at the same time, you can also pay for your solar services through that same location. So it's more like a combination of critical services that people need within the community, such as power, financial service, and other critical services. You can approach the agent within your community and you can facilitate any form of payments. So in that case, technology makes these services closer to the last mile customer than the banks and other financial service providers will be able to do. So the branches is a technology that the agent itself uses to facilitate those transactions. So that's one of the services. I'll go a bit into that later. Then we have what we call the SPO Hive, the single point of integration. Is on the website, it's popularly known as Green Energy Plugs. So it's more like an aggregation service, but it's an API-enabled platform for any service provider or payment network to automatically have access to SHS and mini grid services. So today, if you already have a platform that's already service customer that you use for payment collection, or that you use to offer services to end users, you can plug into the APIs. The API are already available, and what that simply does is you immediately start to process payments for SHS companies and mini grid companies, which is similar to the on-grid energy like Eco and Ikeja. So if you already offer Eco electric services that people can pay for it at your location, you can just plug into these APIs and you can gain access to other off-grid energy providers. So if you are in the core north, or you're in a remote village in Ogun State, you can actually collect payments for customers using your channel. And the third product that we have that caters for the renewable energy sector is the CRM and stock management, which is focused towards the SHS and mini grid provider majorly. Now, for them, they need a platform to be able to acquire customers, to manage the customers. And one of the things to be able to do for them is create this unified platform, because over the past 3 years of working with them, we'll be able to identify the gaps in technology, the gaps in solutions, and we'll be able to create something that solves most of their critical problems. So for someone that you are in that sector, you are in the solar sector, and you just want to, focus on selling your products, and you want everything technology to handle, we take care of all of those, your back-end issues, by providing all of these solutions together. All of these solutions together combined gives you easy entrance into the market, and it allows you to just immediately start to manage your customers, track your leads, and be able to do your conversions quickly. You can also manage your inventories, so you don't have a problem, and everybody that connects there, any of our channels, we know that, okay, this particular product is available right now. We don't need to manually do a check to say, oh, is this product available? Customer has made an order for this. Everything is streamlined such that as it's streamlined, and your inventory is properly captured such that as the customer approaches any location, the agent, the bank location, the fintech location, they can immediately have access to your products. the available products and they can make payments immediately, which we give you a proper reconciliation platform to see the end-to-end. So
Ebola, if I may interrupt you just for a moment, there's a little bit of background noise on your mic. Is there, it sounds like there is some wind coming through your mic on regular basis. Can you please double check?
Okay, let me check just a minute.
It will just be more comfortable for the listeners. Yeah, are you still with us, Ebola?
I am here. Can you, is it better now? I don't know.
There is no noise. So yes, go on. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. So just to break down Omnibranches services in, a bit down. So for Omnibranches, like I mentioned earlier, is facilitated. It's similar to an agency banking technology, which is popular known within the fintech ecosystem, and that is you leveraging on the agent networks to be able to facilitate transactions. But what we're able to do in addition to that is that we're able to cater for specifically for people within the renewable energy sector to leverage on the same network to be able to either sell their offerings to the customers or at the same time collect payments. So one of the problems they have is when you go to critical nodes or you go to peri-urban and rural communities, most of these networks are not there and there are no banks obviously within those locations. So how can someone in the renewable energy sector collect payments when majority of locations where their customer reside are the same places where the banks are not there? So which is why we'll be able to streamline, work together with them to deploy our network based on the need for people within the sector, and that has been very helpful over time. Then the other thing that Omnibranch is able to do is provide a USSD capability for the offline customers. So some of the people that reside in these locations, they all depend on their mobile devices to be able to do some transactions, and some of them do not have any. And in some cases, a lot of households depend on just one device before they can actually do transaction. So to make it easier for the customers, in case they don't want to approach the agent to do transaction, and maybe their light suddenly shuts off in the middle of the night, they can dial a short code for them to immediately enable their pay-go service automatically. And the third thing we have from the branches is what we call the solar marketplace, which is where an SHS provider can they can display their products for end users to go to make direct purchase. It's a channel that we have created for them. Makes it easy for, let's say, the urban customers or people that are already familiar with SHS products to go see what it offers and see what it can power and how it helps you in terms of, oh, what do I need? When customers always ask questions like, oh, what do I need? This is what I have in the house. So we streamline the questions so that you're able to give you the right SHS product that you would need, and you're able to select from the service providers that are available. This is just a bit about the technology. I think I'll just keep that. And this is what the platform also looks like and the payment connection process. Now, some of the services that we offer through our channels, both financial service and non-financial service, such as the renewable energy service we mentioned. You can open an account at an agent point. You can do a deposit, a withdrawal, you can have a time, then you can do some cardless transactions. And we know in the urban centers, more transactions are very popular at the card-based transaction. That is, you use your ATM card to withdraw from an agent point. However, in some locations where they are not banked, the cardless transaction is one of the key things, is one of the easiest way for them to be able to do is to be able to withdraw cash or to perform some transactions at the location. Then, of course, we make it easy for you to activate any solar system. So once you are doing your pay-go offering, that is, you want to do your repayments, which is either due monthly or you are doing a pay-as-you-go structure. So that is, you can pay anytime you need power or anytime you think your light goes out. You can we can enable your SHS products instantly by going to any of the agents to do the transaction. And of course, we also have access to other electricity and utility bills that you can do at the locations. Now, for the SPOI products, which is the single point of API. So we have a number of payment channels that are on the platform. At the same time, we aggregate a whole lot of SHS companies. So we have up to 25 SHS and mini-grid companies within our catalog that we have access to their product via API. And most of these people that you see already connect to them. So that creates an opportunity for them to extend their services through these channels. So if you have channels such as this, you can actually send an email and leverage on those same API to facilitate it. So if you go to like an Airtel or Access Money agent point today, you can actually pay for some of these solar services and activate your system through some of those channels. At the same time, if you have if you already have an established network or you have a customer channel, you can just simply request for this API. You can go to the website and you can plug it to it. So it's very easy. We streamline all the work so that for you, you just focus on your own business. In 2-3 days, you're able to roll out the services of the SHS provider on your channel. Then the other added value services we have for people within this space is one of the things we call the solar financing model, right? In this way, we partner with a lot of financing companies, and they are able to provide asset facilities to the customers of the SHS companies. So, for example, there are some products that are very expensive, and there are some products that are just a bit not too affordable for the type of customers that we serve. Because remember, the buying power of customers is also important in order for them to be able to purchase or to have access to these SHS products. But streamlining the payment for them to say, oh, pay 1,000 or pay 500 every month compared to paying 40,000 naira to go, those are two different conversations. So in this case, we have access to a lot of financing partners that provide financing options for the customer of the SHS, so that you can have access to, pay in bits, which is still sometimes referred to as the pay-go service, that has to pay in little bits. When you don't have power, all you have to do is just dial the short code of this an agent location for you to continue to have access to power. But these people are available so that as much as the customers require financing, you never lack that option when you want to pick up any of the solar products and services. Now, we also have the solar distribution model, which is something that we do through our agent network and other partners, and other channel partners. So some of the financial services location we have here, we've been able to train them over time, and we've been able to increase our service offering by enabling them to layer solar payment and sales through that channel as well. So some of our agent locations today, even though you can do a withdrawal from them, you can do some cash transactions, you can also go there to pick up solar devices in case you want to. So we understand that these companies might not be close to where you stay, or they might be far away from you. However, from the leveraging on our distribution network, we bring them closer to the last mile customer. So making it easy for you to pick up or to just make a purchase, or even to look at some of the demo products at some of the selected agent locations that we work with. And as well, in addition to that, we also enable the services through some of our channel partners, which are like the banks and other telcos as well. And I think there's some of the partners that we work with within the SHS ecosystem, or other investors or key players that we work with. We have the likes of B-Box, BB Jump, Delight & Co, which are all solar providers, and they have great products that are even quality verified. So that means the issues that a lot of Nigerians have when they say, oh, in the past I bought some solar products and they didn't just last for more than a month. This has been resolved because with people that are quality verified, if they tell you that product lasts for 24 months, I mean, they can give power for 24 hours. They actually 24 hours because there's a quality verified status that each of these companies actually take, and it's a rigorous process for them to get that certification and verification. So most all the people that we work with have this verification, and that gives you the assurance that whatever they're selling to you is actually what you get in return. So those are some of the things that we put in check to make sure that you have access to the right services and people. I think that's basically it from me. Do you have questions you would like to ask, John?
Thank you very much, Adebola. Yes, of course, there are some questions from the crowd, and I will also have some additional questions. But what we can do is to keep these questions for the end, so that we can address them together with the two other companies presenting today. And what I wanted to comment maybe on what you just mentioned is something very interesting in terms of value proposition that you highlighted, not only with the SPOI, where you get like a almost like plug and play mobile payment solution in very short time, but also your solar financing model, which I suspect may interest quite a few people listening today. And for sure they will be getting in touch with you, because this is a recurring problem that we at Avia hear when we are in touch with SHS companies all across Africa. So definitely a very interesting thing to follow. Thank you very much, Adebola. And so we will move to our next speaker today. Our next speaker is Opio. Let me just share the screen. Opio David, the CEO of GnuGrid CRB. Opio also comes with a lot of experience in the space in ICT, in finance, in fintech in general. He's the founder and CEO of GnuGrid CRB, and also maybe for some of you of a company called Nsibuko. He's been recognized also several times and is part of some very interesting programs, such as the Young Conversions Pioneer from World Frontiers Forum. He's also a fellow at Westerwelle in 2019. And so, Opio, I'm very happy to welcome you here with us today. Maybe you can turn on your camera to join the crowd. Hello, there you are. Okay, now we see you. Welcome, Opio. And really, I don't want to make people wait any longer. The floor is yours, and I will give you the possibility of sharing your screen now so you can tell us a little bit about the work you've been doing at GnuGrid CRB.
Thank you so much.
And in the meantime, of course, for all the listeners, please feel free to continue dropping your questions in the Q&A section. There's already an interesting list of questions. This is very good, but for sure there will be more coming. And the sooner you share your questions, the sooner we will be able to address them. Yeah, we see your screen now, Opio. Indeed, presentation mode, very good.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to meet you all. My name is David Opio Obangamoy. I am based in Kampala, Uganda. And from there, I connect to the rest of the world. As Johnny said, currently I'm a CEO of GnuGrid CRB, which is a credit referencing bureau, mainly helping credit providers such as banks, circles, which are called savings and credit cooperative societies, pay-go solar companies, or solar companies that offer solar equipment on credit, and a couple of other credit providers. So for us, and the role we play in this space is really to help solar entities to de-risk their investment. That's what we have been doing for the last couple of years, since 2019. And I think our first entry into the market was mainly to focus on data as a currency. So we aggregated a lot of data from solar companies, and we built credit scores and credit reports for their customers. And the solar companies were relying on that to make decisions and also de-risk their investment. So for us, we believe that data have accounting system. They don't have reliable data they can use to make decisions, and they are not automated. And yet they have to serve over 6 million, people across Africa, which are living in off-grid communities. So this is really a snapshot of what we offer as a bundle. One is a CRM, a very robust CRM that has been in space for almost 5 years, being used by a number of solar entities in Uganda. It's a robust and was built based on the needs of the solar companies. So this solution we offer it to solar companies for free. They don't have to pay us. We use it as a data sanitizer tool or data sanitization tool. So it's the tool we use to collect data and to clean up data before we can actually use it in the bureau. So it has all the modules, mobile money, the accounting, the geo, monitoring of solar equipment when they are installed. You can track your outstanding payments, kits that have been installed. All those components that you can think of are actually embedded into the system. So solar companies use this for free. And for us, it's a tool we use to collect data. Then that data is pushed to a credit referencing bureau. And the bureau, what we do there is now to use AI to build credit scores and credit reports for individual customers and non-individual customers. And by the way, we also collect data from other financial institutions. So what we offer is a 360-degree view of someone's creditworthiness or indebtedness. So we sell now this data back to the solar companies in form of credit reports. And they use those to, make decisions or to come up with, products or credit product they can offer to their customers. And so these are some of, like a dashboard sort of, which summarizes your data set and day-to-day transactions of your business. So you can see really how your business is doing in real time. And of course, it has some of those features like customer profiling. You can also do validation of the NIN or phone number just to make sure you are profiling the right customer. And then, of course, the digital payments is the telecoms, Airtel and MTN, the business intelligence. So we optimize the data and produce, some sort of reports that solar companies can use to make, go-to-market strategy or investment decisions. You can also predict, especially with your write-off, you can know that, this loan portfolio is going to be written off because of this number of overdue and a couple of other features. And all these are provided for entities for free, as I said, for the purpose of being able to automate their day-to-day operations. So this is also another very important key feature in the system, which we call it customer profiling. So we provide a master file of a customer. And also, if you have a customer care team, your customer care team can, on a daily basis, interact with your customer, and the system can also produce, some sort of statistics about those transactions or interactions. And this is some sort of also a customer master file, so which shows the customer has paid off. And here you can track, the installments that are being paid on a daily basis, and you can know when you expect another outstanding balance. And so this really the tool that helps solar company to make sure they organize their day-to-day operations of the business. And then they can also be able to track, the solar installations they have made in a different parts of the country or Africa. So when the technician is making the installation, there is an option on the app of the technician to capture geolocation of that homestead, and that can be pushed on our web platform. And then from that data we collect through the CRM, we populate it into the CRB now to produce credit reports and credit scores. So these specifically help institutions to de-risk their investment. And a lot of solar companies, and I think we have seen from the CRM, a lot of money is being written off every year because solar entities cannot track their customers, neither can they be able to actually get back the equipment. So they lose the equipment, they also lose the money, plus the time they invest into the installations. So now this credit score, the credit referencing system helps the institutions, to do a background check to screen out those bad customers that would actually mount into writing off of their loan portfolios. And then this is a snapshot of the credit reports that we provide. So we have some bit of a narrative, about the institution that's providing the loan. And by the way, on the credit report, we aggregate all the different institutions that have provided the credit to that specific customer, the outstanding amount which is overdue, and also we offer the probability or likelihood of that person to default, and then the score. So all this information is provided to the institution really to make a decision. So in line to the topic of today, I think for us as a fintech is really to bridge the gap, for a lot of solar institutions that are not banks, yet they are providing credit. Most of solar entities do not have a banking background. They don't have mechanism, the checks and balances to make sure they de-risk their investment. So for us, we provide them that skill set to make sure, even if they are not banks, still they can be able to survive and scale securely and reach their target customer audience. So these are a number of partners. Of course, we have a number of customers using our platform. We have about 50 solar companies in Uganda. We have 1,200 circles. We have a number of banks. So all those actually benefit from the data we collect to really make decisions on a daily basis. But we are regulated by Bank of Uganda as a credit reference bureau. So we operate under very strict code of conduct and guidelines. Of course, GIZ and then we are actually doing a project with them specifically to link solar companies to a credit referencing bureau. And I think they realize that a lot of solar companies, which they support, losing a lot of money because of multi-following. And then USAIA, which is an umbrella body for solar companies here in Uganda. So you really sensitize their members about the need for the use of a credit bureau. Really, that's what we do as GnuGrid, and that's the value proposition we provide to the cleantech ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the presentation, and yes, again, a very quick comment about this credit reference, which is really becoming a hot topic and something which will eventually find a lot of other applications than just like the viability and the bankability of customers for solar home systems. But before we move on to our next and final speaker today, I would like to ask you two very quick questions from the crowd, from Joseph and from James, because they're specifically for you. Is this CRB solution only available in Uganda right now, or can you also serve companies in other countries? And then the other question from James, where can we download the GnuGrid?
Great, thank you so much, John, for those questions. Yes, apparently, yes, the CRB is in Uganda, but it's a global platform, really. It's a cloud-based platform. But right now we are regulated as a CRB to operate in Uganda. Currently, I'm in Kenya actually to look for opportunities of collaboration and also opening up, a window to deploy a same solution here. So yes, we are on a journey to scale and reach out. The beauty is we have a platform that has been built, to serve the last mile credit consumers, and all, the components, the feature that fits into that market are already embedded. So it's really a matter of scaling, and we are happy, to scale and reach out to different countries. How can you download? Of course, I have shared my contacts. There is a process, really. There's what we call accreditation criteria. So we know there's some sort of non-disclosure agreement. All those sort of paperwork has to be done. So you can reach out to me via my email, and we can take this conversation forward. But yes, I'm very happy to to scale and reach out to many. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure many contacts will be generated after today's session. But without further ado, I would like to move on to our next speaker, Mobola. We have already mentioned a few words about OWATS earlier today with Edmund. And before giving you the stage, I just wanted to give a brief overview of your background to the listeners today. So again, I mean, this is like an amazing lineup of speakers today with super experienced people, specifically in the topic of interest, almost 20 years experience in both finance and renewable energy in your case. You work with Owatts, you're Owatts managing director there, and the concept was already described a little bit, connecting really all the different players in the industry, not only professionals, but also like end users, let's say. And so before I start explaining too much, I will just stop here, Mobola, and I will switch over to you. And I believe I will be sharing your screen, right? So you just guide me whenever you need so that I can be aware that I need to move to the next screen.
Thank you, John. Hello, everyone. Yes, that is it. Thanks, John. Yes, so Owatts, and we've come a long way from Onewattsolar to Owatts technology, and we've come to realize that at the end of the day, what we're trying to provide for the community, for people that we're serving, our users and the actors in our ecosystem, is, you know, like a lifestyle kind of technology. So I'll say Owatts is a lifestyle technology company, you know, that offers a platform of sustainable, smart products towards universal access to clean and equitable energy, cooking, water, financial services, and other essential services from household to businesses. Our D5 mission is to decentralize, decarbonize, digitize, democratize, and domesticate. Now, our vision has always been to be the leading, you know, most inclusive and demanded platform in Africa to meet the day-to-day needs of people and the business. And we're striving every day to make sure we achieve this. So our goals, should that be the next slide?
You need to guide me, Mobola.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for that. No, I thought I tipped off when I said our goal. Right. So our goal is to deliver an inclusive technology platform that facilitates and accelerates universal access to sustainable clean energy, clean cooking, clean water, and other essential services across Africa, and empowering and creating wealth for people and businesses. I'm sure you noticed that we put emphasis on clean because it has to be clean. Whatever it is we do must be on the clean tech platform. So the three things, you know, drive our core. We've got the asset aggregation, improving lives, and a working ecosystem. The ecosystem must function. For us to provide these services for the community, for the people and the businesses, the ecosystem must function properly. We need to improve lives to show this is exactly what we're doing or what we're to achieve, and then asset aggregation. In the last 14 years, we have been building, you know, experiences in off-grid and clean energy across Africa. Third slide, please. So I can build on. Yes. So we know we've been dealing on it's Fintech that we're trying to talk about. So the software solution overview. I remember Edward made a point earlier to the platform we're creating for people, and then I'll go back to it. But our Owatts lifestyle will be one of the main focus for today. I'll discuss the ecosystem, our green bank coin, the mobile apps, and then the old design. But this is just a general overview of what our solution looks like. So on the Owatts platform, to join our ecosystem, it's very easy. I'm sure once this is done, we will share the website with everyone, so you can log on if you want to just have like a brief demonstration. But once you get to our site, this is what you see. We're making life easy for everyone. It is a lifestyle technology company after all. So we've got the prosumers and the consumers in the ecosystem. We've got the associates, the entrepreneurs. I'll talk a bit on the prosumers. So we know when we generate solar energy, there are times that we can generate, you know, extra, and so that we're sufficient, not just for our household, but for additional households. So for the prosumers and the consumers, what we do is if we generate, or if a household has generated a copious amount of, or substantial amount of solar energy, they can now, you know, offset back to the grid. They can actually share with the grid so that energy can be affordable for other people within the community. based on what's been generated. Then we have the associates and the entrepreneurs in our ecosystem. These are the people that once we've carried out any sale or they bring in any clients, they would now follow up with the after sales bits to monitor, to guide, and to sort of mentor the people in the ecosystem or actors in our ecosystem. Then our installers, the name speaks for itself. Those are our solar installers. And we've got close to 1,000 now. And then we also have partnership with ECOWAS, and we should have about 20,000 by the end of this year, 20,000 installers all across West Africa. The solar developers and the franchisees, these are our backbone. These are the guys that are going to help us. They usually help us with the solar installation, the maintenance, the upkeep, the monitoring of the solar software once it's been installed at a client site. So that's why we've got the solar developers and the franchisees, and we work with the best. We work with people that are top-notch and are recognized in the society or in that field. So we've got the training institutes. Those are part of our system. So now we have a system where we train our installers, the players on our ecosystem, all the actors there. We show them how to, use our software, the solutions that we provide, our products and services. We give them like a bespoke training, and then we do that through these training institutes. Again, they are like certified training institutes, so they will be the ones to help us carry out this training, this bespoke training to all our installers and any actor in the ecosystem. And then we have the insurance companies. Those are the guys that make sure our goods, our assets, and products are secure. Some of the insurance that we do also go as far as covering our actors in the ecosystem. That's fine, Jen, it's fine. You can take it to the other. Yeah. So like I said, we will share the site where you can log in and follow the process. But just a quick one. To make a reservation, all you need to do is register. You make your reservation. You either go on as an associate or a mentor, and then you follow up with the whole design and then the installation process, and then you go live. It's pretty seamless. It seems like 5 stages, but it's extremely seamless and straightforward. Thank you, John. Yes, so our solution, Chioma, it's all, I'm sure if you remember from the last slides, I've gone on about clean technology. So Chioma is our clean power. Yeah, we draw attention to, but can I draw attention to, oh no, this is not going to be so clear, but I was going to say, this interactive platform, if you can see, it's not really clear, but what we do is it's an interface on the web, right? It's very interactive to clients. They can have access to all that's going on their system, with their solar, with the facilities that they have, any products that they're using online in real time. So Chioma is an intelligent energy management system used to monitor, control, and optimize performance of electricity. It's a hybrid power system, and it's configured so that electricity generated from solar panels as a higher priority, followed by the battery bank, and then the utility grid and backup generator. So there's light constantly. Okay, John, thank you. So, and then we've got the clean cooking, which is called Kike. So the Kike smart cooking technology is for homes and businesses and industries. It's integrated and inclusive platform for gas refilling operators, for cylinder providers, and end users. It's also a pay-as-you-go. And this also takes us back to, I will take you to the wallet, and also to Edmund's point when he said fintech is mostly some parts as the pay-as-you-go. I think the clean tech and the fintech bit, where you have the pay-as-you-go systems, and this Kike is also a pay-as-you-go system, and it's online, and it's via the Owatts app. You've got the real-time gas usage monitoring. You've got the cooking alarm timers recipe, leakage detector log, cylinder lifespan check, 2-second auto turn off gas discharge timer, and then the leakage detector. Again, if you can see this interface right here, it also takes us, it will show you, the process, how you can monitor what's going on. It's also an interface that's quite interactive. You can engage on that platform to find out what the situation is and get real-time information on what you're using, how you're using it, and also how to make payments for same. Next slide, please, John. So yeah, so this is our old design. It's a solar design and a proposal software. So this is a 3D design that's leading accuracy. right? So it's accurate 3D design for our associates, for solar remote, to view solar remotely and make proposals reliable. So with the 3D design, all our associates and actors on our platform, they can see the actual design, the area view of the building or any property or location of where the installation is going to be. So we can give you a proper, and a detailed diagram and information on how we're actually going to carry out the installation, the best form of installation, the best model for you. We check out the lights, we check out we conduct a thorough investigation on the energy system that you require, what you require, and the vicinity, so that whatever it is we're providing for you, whatever solution we're giving you, matches your exact needs. And the green bank coin. Okay, before I go on to green bank coin, I'm going to now talk about what Edmund said about the pay-as-you-go and Sterling Bank having a collaboration with Sterling Bank. So with that collaboration, it's a platform called Spectre. So it's like an online digital platform where we have access to clients and users will have access to funds for any products or services that they intend to purchase or to own. So that way, if you don't have funds and you really need to get on any of our products, you just need to access that platform, which is called Spectre. More details will be shared along the course of the course, and emails will be sent to people so you can actually see in detail what is required of you. But you can get access to funds anytime, anywhere you want it, once you are on that platform. Okay, so this is back to no. John, can you take me back to the green bank coin, please? Yes, so this is our payment gateway platform, the tokenization and the wallets. So with the Choma bit and then the Kika bit, all our solutions, from the diagram I was trying to direct your attention to, it shows the wallet where everyone that has access to the wallet, you load your money and but this is a green bank coin. So whatever it is you have in your wallet, whatever it is you have in your account, it's like a bank account. So you spend what you have. And you don't need to, if you want to top up ahead of time, if you want to top up late, there are allowances that we can give, and then you top up and you use the green coin platform. So our platform has provided digital tokens that's used by customers to pay for all the products and services that we offer on the platform. It's also the currency that is reused to settle all actors in the ecosystem. Now, I'm sure people wonder, this also something that Edmund mentioned when he talked about Bitcoin, and people wondering how you can now transfer that or make that into fiat currency, like local currency. Yeah, so the thing is, yes, though we settle actors on our platform with the green bank coin, we actually have a settlement system with the treasury. We have our own personal treasury that will arrange for this money to be transferred into real cash. So we're not just paying you virtually. If you want it in real currency, you would get it in real currency. So that's what the wallet is for. So the wallet, you can debit for power, you debit for gas, you debit for water. Every service that we offer, you can use your wallet, your green bank wallet, to achieve that, right? So our platform really is not just a payment platform only. It's for, but speaking of payment platform, I would like to say, so as you can see here, this green bank, we've got PayPal and Flutterwave. So PayPal is for all our, sorry, I got a question. PayPal is for all our foreign partners who wants to purchase the green bank coin, and the Flutterwave is for all our customers within the Pan-African region. Our platform, like I said, is not just a software. It serves more than just a software. There's always monitoring purposes. No, it is also a payment platform. It enables customers and users to share rights on the system. And then it's also for various reports, and you can generate any information you need about what's going on with your account, and everything you need will just come up. It's easy. The system speaks to you. It's that easy. I know a lot of people say, tech can be difficult, tech is not friendly, but with the AI intelligence that we've put in place, all your transactions will be extremely, extremely seamless. And if there's at any point where there's a glitch, like we say, we're online always, real time, online, and we can address any and every of your needs. Okay, John. Yeah. So at Owatts, we're inspired by Maya Angelou, where we say we come as one or we stand as many, because we have different platforms to satisfy the different needs of, individuals and businesses. So we're not just coming to you one way, we're coming to you in many ways. And we also have our actors in the system that are helping support this dream. Thank you very much. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much, Mobola. Yes, sorry, I was not the greatest slides.
You did great. You did absolutely great.
I did my best.
You did great.
But yeah, thank you very much. Thanks to you and to our other speakers, because really like different angles to the same topic, and yeah, really interesting to see the realm of possibilities. We have quite a lot of questions. So what I suggest is, if you can just speakers of the day, yes, turn your cameras back on, so that everybody can hear you. And I have some questions. Sometimes they will be for all of you. Sometimes they will be just maybe for one of you. And I'll just shoot the questions. We've received several, and you can still keep sending some. One question that came in different formats was about artificial intelligence, and sometimes the questions that we are receiving are a bit like skeptical questions. Sometimes it feels a little bit like a black box. Okay, we are being thrown the AI word at us, which justifies a little bit everything, but people sometimes feel they are losing control on what really happens behind this word of artificial intelligence. I would like to ask each one of you what you would like to say to people who are maybe a bit skeptical about this approach, and how in the end this is just a new evolution of things that have been done in the past, and what kind of possibilities this opens. Adebola, you have the hard task of being the first one to be asked about this. What would you? Yeah, what is your perspective on AI? Why should people not necessarily be scared about this acronym?
Okay, all right, thank you for that, John. I think AI is great, yes. The acronym. Okay, so basically for someone like Infibranches, we do use AI for a number of things, but majorly on data. We focus on data. So data is very powerful, and it gives you great insights into making business decisions. Now, what an AI can help you do is help you sniff through that data quickly and provide the type of visibility for you as a business owner, which is very critical, because for any decision you want to make, that is, which angle should we go to? What is our data telling us? We have so much information from processing transactions for a lot of partners, right? So what can they learn about that data, and how can it benefit them as a business to grow, right? These are some of the things an AI will help you to do. Because imagine if you are a person just crunching the data, it will take you a long time to be able to achieve that same goal. But if you're using an AI, which is more of an intelligent solution, and you're able to deploy that effectively and to serve this your partner's needs, so you're able to look at data. Oh, how can you do better? This is what we see from your customer data. This is what we see from the feedback that we're getting, and giving them that precise information when they need it, so that when they are coming back with a new strategy or with a new product, they can provide something that suits what the market needs. That is the type of way they can use AI to help a business grow, and that is very, very powerful. I think that's what I would like to say on that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you, Opio, you made a reference to AI, especially when you mentioned about the credit reference system. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on how you see this AI? Is this aligned with what Adebola just mentioned, or do you see it slightly differently maybe?
Yeah, very, very close, and there is a very strong correlation. For us, we use AI to optimize data. First of all, with AI, you must have a lot of data, because you need to train the algorithm ready to make the decisions for you. But that takes a little bit of time, and also you need to have, the resources to process that data, to host it and train it. And then the other thing for us, besides, the investment involved to make AI more fitting for your business, we use it for credit scoring. You know, given the number of customers we have in our system and the number of credit accounts that are being created on a daily basis, it's quite a lot of work for our basic algorithm to process that. So we have AI that we have trained to look into the credit scoring on different parameters like overdue, the number of credit accounts that someone owns. So AI can look into that and quickly produce a credit score. But also in a very basic business operations, you can use AI for natural language processing. We have seen chat rooms also, like our customer care. We use robot kind of chat rooms to quickly help our customers get response to their disputes that are raised due to maybe data protection or data issues. So AI is hands-on, especially for a business that relies on data, a business that sells data and processes data to build business intelligence. Yeah, so that's really how we use AI in our day-to-day operations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And please feel free to turn on your camera going forward so people can just listen more actively with you. Next question, Mobola, for you. In your presentation, we saw that your solutions are both for solar professionals, but also for end users, for individual customers. And we had a question from Joseph, who was asking about irregular income in rural areas. So we know that this is a recurring problem. Income fluctuates throughout the year. This is not always adapted to the reality of a pay-as-you-go plan, or at least the ideal pay-as-you-go plan. What would you say are solutions for this problem raised by Joseph?
Okay, thank you, John, for that. So I actually answered Joseph's question. So the thing, what we do is the loan system that we have in place with this bank, they're supposed to be tailored to, according to the pattern of your income, because we are aware that income is it's not all the time that the income is steady. Your income is not steady. So we'll just need to model it in a way that, when you have the funds, you pay. So sometimes we give you, there's something called amortization where you don't need to, and then there's also, what's that word I'm looking for now, where you can actually pay. We can actually give you the facility. It's called, what's that word in banking? I've left the bank for a while now. Where we give you like a moratorium period. Yeah, that's the word. We give you the moratorium period where you can actually buy now, and then you buy now and you pay later. That's in simple terms. You buy now, you pay later. So you through that period when you've bought the product, and you're not paying immediately, you can start saving towards that. And then also the moratorium period where that, okay, you've got 9 months grace or a year's grace or 6 months grace, and you need to save towards that. And then we also would have channeled the pattern, would have followed the pattern of your income, and then we'll do it. Because there's always a way to make it convenient, because at the end of the day, we want to make it accessible to people. So we also have to be flexible and understand the income pattern. So we always find a way to work around these complexities. It's durable. It's not even without a doubt.
On the Vodafone side, yes, you work with quite a lot of SHS providers. I'm sure you have solutions for this.
Yes. I was going to say something on that. So some of the ways that the SHS company will be able to streamline that process is that they understand that some of the customers within that kind of bracket might not have constant funds. So what they've simply done is that they'll be able to deploy a technology that you can on and off your devices as when you have money and when you don't. So for example, you have 200 Naira today and that can take you for 5 days. You can make that payment and you have light for that duration. When you don't have payment, there is no light. Do you understand? The moment you have the next payment, you can pay towards that particular for another stretch. So you can pay any amount based on, so it's not by force. So normally, the way the structure would be like, oh, pay 4,000 Naira every month for the next thing, but a whole lot of them do not do that. So you can pay in a flexible way. So you can pay whatever you have. If you have 100 today, you have 200 tomorrow, you have 1,000 tomorrow, you can pay as you go, basically. So which is one of the creative things about the renewable energy sector, because they are be able to provide that solution to the customer type based on your own spending and your own spending and purchase pattern, basically. So that actually encourages lots of repayments, actually, because it is as you have money, and you will see that a lot of people, the moment they have the next savings, they quickly pay more. So some days they pay more, some days they pay less, but they are always consistent, and that encourages them to be that consistent in using the solution. So yeah, that's one of the approach that some of the SHS company work with have used.
Very much so, Joseph. Do not worry about irregular income levels. There are solutions for this, no problem at all. Opia, I would like to come back to you because you mentioned something in your previous answer about data security and privacy. And we've received several questions about this, especially in a world where everything is digitized and data is being collected about people. Let me just read the question. Like Moses, for example, has a question about how do you guarantee customers' privacy and security if you can view their homes anytime? That's more for mobile solutions, but you get the point, right? Another question is, if you operate on a continental basis, how do you ensure that you comply with maybe different national regulations about privacy specifically, but also anything else that may be country specific? So if you could please elaborate a little bit on this, share your opinion and talk about the solutions and the safeguards that might exist. And then I will ask the same questions to Mobile and Adibula.
Yeah, thank you so much, John. Yes, data privacy is a very key component for us as a bureau. Actually, it's a requirement. We have a lot of rules in place, especially in Uganda, related to data privacy. Currently, we have the Data Protection Act. So at the bureau, we are not meant to process a credit report without a customer's consent. So we encourage our customers to collect consent forms from the borrowers. And of course, even before you create a credit account in the system, you must have a consent form. So at the bureau, we validate that consent. We have built a system that helps banks, circles, paygoals, solar companies to submit consent forms. And we validate as a bureau to make sure that these consent forms are very valid. That's one thing. The other thing is that we have a privacy notes on our website, even on the USSD, on the smartphones. We let our customer know that they own the data and they have the permission, they give us the key to access this data. So we make sure that all those tools are available, and we place our solution there to educate the customers on data privacy and protection. Then on the side of the infrastructure, of course, we have all our servers locally hosted in the country as per the regulation. So we have deployed like the firewall, SSL certificate, intrusion detection. All those measures have been put in place to make sure the data we hold or we host is not accessed by unauthorized users. And of course, internally in the office, we have, like, for example, expiry key for our tech developers. You only access our infrastructure if you are within the office premise. So all these measures have been put in place to make sure data does not link out to be accessed by unauthorized users. So, and elsewhere, even if you go to any other country as bureaus, actually, we are meant to follow those regulations. So data privacy is the key thing. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies, how is it on your side? Is it something that is completely under control and no problem at all? Or is this something that is actually a relatively big concern in your respective businesses? And what are the measures you put in place to ensure the highest level of privacy and personal data security? Who goes first? Mobola.
I knew you were going to call me. Yeah, so I mean, just to stand more on what my colleague here, Opio has said, what we do is our designs, the EU data protected regulatory framework and gold standard with all our customers. We deploy a blockchain and extremely secure and private, that's extremely secure and private for all the users. And it's always end-to-end encrypted. So I know how customers can be afraid because we say we're looking at them, the aerial view. It's just the aerial view. It's just to have a, a sense of the building, the locality, the area and the property, because to design the solar system for you, the platform that will work for you, we need to actually have, an overview of what your building looks like to get a proper view of the structure. So that's it. So we're not, and then our system, we are not spying on you per se. The interface is with the system that we have, the software that we have in place, the app. That is what we're actually looking at, not looking at your homes, not looking into your homes and, invading your privacy. But no, it's all end-to-end encrypted and it's safe and secure.
Thank you very much. Adebola, last words. It's difficult to be third when so much has already been answered on the topic, but if there is something you would like to add, please.
No, the only thing I can add is that for us, we're a payment channel, so we're also regulated by the CBN, and we're also for agents doing transactions on behalf of customers. There are also other checks, like we have the AML check. We also do a proper KYC on those customers before they can actually facilitate transaction on behalf of other people. And that is in addition to the other end-to-end encryption and everything everybody else has mentioned, which is a core requirement and is checked before you are even licensed by the CBN to be able to carry out payment services. So yes.
I think it's fair to say that there's relatively little concern to be had on this topic, even though it's a totally legitimate question. It sounds like the proper safeguards are being put in place. So Joseph and Moses, you can have some peace of mind on this topic. Switching to the other sides of the story, I would like to come back to the green bank coin. Mobola, if you could just very briefly explain again what exactly it is, and maybe highlight some of the key financial features, like is it like a real currency? Is it a completely fictive currency? Is it a security? What is it? Just for people to be able to really make the distinction between the Bitcoin, let's say, to take as an easy example that they may be very familiar with, compared to the green bank coin. Yeah, you might need to unmute.
Yes. I just wanted to find that bit and I was like, okay. So the green bank coin, it's a digital or virtual currency, only available, into like a private enterprise blockchain. So you say, you can save, you can spend across permitted merchant networks, because just like we're talking about security, it is also very regulated and it's secure. So your question is can it be converted to real currency? Is that what you were asking?
What people can actually do with it? How should they consider it? You mentioned something already very important, which is in a closed, which can be used in a closed system.
Yes.
Will it always be like this, or will it potentially be expanded in the future? Just a better overview of what people may expect.
Okay, for expanding in the future, possibly, because right now it's acceptable worldwide, except maybe in countries where you have the government restricting it and saying you shouldn't, focus on green bank coin. But yes, it is acceptable. Like I said, you can transfer, you can share, you can transfer, you can make payments, you can save, you can spend across any merchant platform that we have. So yes, potential is, the answer is yes. There's a market and regulatory framework already on it. So if there's a possibility that it can actually go beyond just using it on our platform, because like I said, it's acceptable worldwide and it depends on the government of that country if they allow you to. But so in the event that they do allow you, then what you could do with it is limitless. And if you remember to one of the things I mentioned, can it be converted? Like the wallet that we have on our ecosystem, when you are making your payments and all the actors, we pay them with the coin. But if they want to convert it to real currency, yes, they can convert it to real currency, but based on the rates provided by our local treasurer. That's what will determine the exchange rate. But yeah, it can be converted to cash. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much. And Opio and Adebola, I would like to ask a similar question, not specifically about the green buying coin, but generally about virtual currencies. There are a few initiatives like the solar coin, green buying coin, specifically for the renewable energy space, or more specifically the solar space. I would like to have your opinion on these coins. What kind of future do you see for them? Do you see a lot of activity already with these virtual currencies? In general, what is your opinion? Maybe we can start with Opio and then switch to Adebola.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very interesting question. Actually, yesterday I met someone on the plane and was educating me about this currencies. I think for me, the future is huge, and there's a huge potential there. It has been around in my country. It has been introduced. I think what needs to be done is to educate the public. I think the public, me inclusive, need to understand, how to deal with it. Even our regulators, for example, where you operate, you find that because they don't understand and no one is really investing a lot of time to educate them, they put in place regulations to block it. So for me, the regulators, the solar companies, the customers need to be educated to understand the potential of these currencies and how those can plug into enabling access to clean energy. Right. Today, we have seen the introduction of the virtual currencies, for example, in Nigeria, even here in Kenya. I think they introduced a virtual currency. So there's a possibility, and I think all the different central banks are realizing that there is a potential for this, but we need to understand how this can, tap into what we do and how it can accelerate access to energy. For me, that's really my opinion. It's a learning curve for me. I'm trying to understand how to plug this into what we do, but yes, hopefully I'll get there. Thank you.
Adebola, I have a last extra question for you. So if you tell me I don't have any opinion about virtual currencies, no problem. We'll switch to the last question, but I do believe you have an opinion. Yes.
Yeah, I do. I feel that, yeah, it's actually supposed to be faster and low cost than what we currently have today. And for me, that I'm in the financial inclusion space, cost of doing transactions is very, very important and powerful for the users, and that can really drive adoption. So if costs of accessing a product or accessing a service is easier, is cheaper, a lot of people will be able to adopt it, which is why I really don't want to do a comparison, but basically, I feel that, like, for example, CBN has already created a digital currency, and they are pushing it in Nigeria now, which might actually be a good thing because it reduces, or overall, it's supposed to reduce the cost of transactions, of having access to financial services, which would be great for last mile customers, because in that way, a lot of people can come more into the financial space, and access to credits, access to a lot of services will be easier, cheaper, and better for everybody. So that's how I see it. So as long as it follows that same trend, then I think that's a good way to go.
Thank you very much. Thank you to you, and thank you to the three of you, plus also Edmund, who unfortunately could not stay with us until the Q&A. But yes, thank you very much to everybody. We have a few more questions from the Q&A, and probably some more questions are going to come in the next few minutes. We will make sure, like I promised, we will make sure to share those questions with our speakers today. Several questions about French-speaking Africa and what kind of services you might be able to provide there. Several interest for partnerships and bringing your solutions in new countries. So hopefully this will lead to interesting post-event conversations. Before I leave all of you, I would just like to tell you a very brief word about 2 more events coming up for us at ABSIA. So if you liked today's events, normally you should love the next big event that we will be organizing, which will be around green hydrogen and its amazing applications and opportunities for Africa. This will be a 2-day event on the 23rd and the 24th of March. So if you'd like to know the latest stories on this topic, or even just get familiar with the topic and discover how much opportunities there are in this field, this is the event for you to follow. And then later in the year, we will be organizing a physical conference in Cape Town from the 27th till the 29th of September. And it will be really focusing on creating a platform for, on one side, developers, project sponsors, and financial partners to meet, hopefully to close some deals as well, and really to do our little contribution in terms of getting projects financed. So hopefully you will be able to join us for those 2 events. There will be more, of course, throughout the year, but those are like 2 that I wanted to bring to your attention today. And for the rest, a big thank you to our speakers once again. Thank you very much. I hope you had a great time, and I hope some of the discussions that will come out of this session today will be very fruitful to you. Also, a big thank you to the team who helped me organize this event today. And of course, last but not least, a big thank you to all the listeners who took some time of their busy schedule today to join us. So yes, thank you very much. You all have a great day, and I will keep the session open for 2 more minutes. So if you have some last questions you would like to share, now is the time, and then we will close the session. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John, and thank you, everyone.